if it doesn't get too cold, especially if it's like last winter, like they're just gonna keep going. So once the leaves, they're only about this big right now, but once the leaves get big, I'll share. Yes. I'm growing Swiss chard too. I love Christmas. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Hi.
Hey everybody.
Vegetables for the win.
Yeah, so this is about vegetables. Now, actually, since the dust has settled a little bit, we wanted to talk, since we are all Clevelanders now, we wanted to talk a bit about the
insanity
that was the Cleveland Cavaliers winning.
Not even them winning, the parade.
Oh, yes.
The parade was nuts.
Because it had 1.3 million people estimated there.
That's not...
The estimation went up even more.
I heard 1.5. Yeah, I've been hearing 1.5 million people in
Absolutely
downtown.
Insane.
And they all people started showing up. I think the rapid lots were full at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The rapid lots were full at 6:30 in the morning. The parade wasn't supposed to start until 11 or 12 or 1. Who knows? Because it kept getting pushed back because there's so many people that they couldn't start the parade because they were in the way of the parade.
It was supposed to start at 11. I think it was 11:45 when they finally actually started getting.
And it didn't. It was supposed to end at I think 4. Everything I think was supposed to be done by 4, and it went until 6. And it.
Yeah. But for those who aren't in the know, the Cleveland sports have been basically in a drought for about 52 years now.
It's just been a giant sad face.
And we are always taken down and disappointed by our sports teams. So
and everybody ignored that the Monsters won the Calder Cup.
They were in the parade.
Yeah,
in the Cavs parade. They weren't going to get their own parade.
At the same token, it's like the farm team of the NHL.
But we still have it's the AHL, yes. But we still have... They won the Calder Cup. This is a big deal. It doesn't matter that nobody cares. I knew nobody would care.
So
regardless, this is our year. This is the year where everything has
somebody's
changed.
year.
So people went absolutely berserk.
Exactly. Stories, even the celebration before the parade, the night of when the Cleveland Cavaliers won in Game 7. I think so the reason why we're doing this episode is we all have really different takes on this.
And I don't really think any of us are basketball people.
I'm a basketball person,
okay.
but when it comes to the season, I didn't watch a single game.
Okay.
Because I've been just so busy. I don't know, I'm in this weird position where it's exciting that we won something, you know what I mean? It's good for the city. I think that was the most amount of people that's ever been in downtown Cleveland.
I think it was since the 30s. I saw a statistic. That is the biggest group of people that have been there in just a really long time.
And it's set a record actually in the United States too. But the thing that it disheartens me is we can celebrate a victory in sports, but we can't come together when a 12-year-old boy is shot.
Yeah.
There's
no excuse.
That kind of breaks my heart, and I know a lot of people say that's try-hard social justice, warrior, millennial bullshit.
Yeah.
And you're just being negative. But that was my first feeling was, if a f***ing sports victory and championship can bring 1.5 million people, why can't we get a 20th of that or a 40th of that? To demonstrate, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I will say, and I'm not a huge basketball person either. I just I care about Cleveland. That night of when everyone was celebrating was so cool to see.
Yeah.
And the fight continues, and we always.
You were there, weren't you?
No, I was at my parents' house actually watching it, but I drove on the way back and saw some of the madness. But I just think it was Yeah, it's terrible, but the fact that at least we get this thing that we get to be proud of for a day or a week or whatever, and it brought people together and people were celebrating this city and wanting to invest more in the city. I think that's a good thing, and I think, like you said, it's terrible, this weird dichotomy we have, but at the same time, I'm glad it happened. I think it can reap good from this.
So I had just gotten off the highway and had to go 5 more minutes to get to my apartment when the Cavs won, so I kind of escaped all the motorcades of people laying on their horns going down my road, which was nice. Because they're also speeding. I'm on the outskirts of the west side, and there were people speeding to get out of Cleveland as fast as they could as soon as the game ended, so I'm glad I missed that too. But where I was mostly at was during the parade, I was just watching Twitter because the RTA was on point on Twitter, and it was kind of funny because you could tell who was from Cleveland and who it wasn't, because the people who are mad on Twitter and saying, I have my kids with me, they told me to take the rapid, where's the bus, they were all from somewhere else. And everybody who is like commending the people, like, man, the PR is really good, you guys are doing your best, like, thank you, we're all the Cleveland people. So that was kind of interesting to watch play out.
For those not from Cleveland, the RTA is like our public transport system.
And the rapid is the rails, and then we also have buses. But it was nuts downtown. And it was, like, the buses, the funding for the RTA is bad. Like, our rail system, our rail system was due for updating 5 years ago, and it hasn't really been updated. The infrastructure is not good. So this influx of people, the RTA did not have the money, the capacity. They were unable to deal with it, and they were doing the best that they could. And the person on Twitter was literally like, where are you? Which direction are you going? Thank you for telling me there's no bus. I'll see about sending a bus there, kind of thing. So that's what I was keeping an eye on.
I think the cool thing about this is all the people that voted to not fund it are the ones that had to use it. And now they realize, wow, if we want to do more things downtown, maybe we should start voting a tax increase. And maybe there should be more funding for the RTA.
And we have a lot of big things coming up with the Republican National Convention in Cleveland. That's going to require a lot of the RTA. And we have our public square reopening in a week.
That reopened today.
But they're having like a big festive kind of celebration sort of thing. And so like they're gonna have free concerts coming up at the Cleveland Orchestra. Like they said they're going to literally try, like, once they get things going with this, they want to have something happening there, big or small, every single day.
Oh, that's cool.
So like I think that's awesome, and I think from the pictures I saw, it looks beautiful. So like, there's yet another reason for people to come into the city.
And Public Square is literally in the middle of our downtown. There's nowhere to park. Like, you can, unless you want to park a block away and pay $15 for the lot. You're not going to find anywhere to park
I would say
there.
Blocks away. There's nowhere even like really that close.
Well, it depends on how much is going on. Because like I know there are lots there because the House of Blues is right there and I parked there.
You could have like the Q has parking over there.
But it's still, you got to pay. And if you want to have the Cleveland Orchestra play in the middle of downtown, people are going to want to take transit. Especially every bus goes there. Every single bus. If you look at the signs sitting there, they all are like 2 feet tall, and it's just the list of all the buses that go past there, and that would bring people.
It could be huge.
Yeah.
I think the thing they were worried about was the expansion, because I lived in Avon Lake, and there was one bus line that went that far out of Cuyahoga County. Avon Lake is in Lorain County, and I would take that bus to high school. I went to school at St. Ed's in Lakewood, which is 5 minutes away from Cleveland. They ended up not keeping the line, the city of Avon Lake, because one, it was too costly for them, and two, they bought into this myth of unwanted people getting that far into their city. And there's been a lot of other cities where they've stopped development of transportation farther out of the counties into the farther metro area because of this whole, we don't want these people here, because of the myth of, let's just say what it is, low-income people using public transportation. And now these suburbanites that came to downtown Cleveland realize, holy crap, if I wanted to take the RTA and it's a big event, I can't do it. Because guess what? I have to wait 4 hours to get on the train.
And then there are all the people who are waiting to get to work too. Like,
one
of my professors didn't cancel class, and I got on my bus line. It's called the Cleveland State line. It goes to Cleveland State, and we were rerouted, and we were sitting there. Like, it was probably a 5-minute drive from my apartment, but it took us 20 minutes to get there, and we're sitting on a bridge, and I went up and I asked him, I was like, how long do you think it's going to take to get to Cleveland State? Like, class started 5 minutes ago. He's like, I'm not going to Cleveland State. He's like, do you see this? He's like, there's no way. He's like, I'm turning around in 2 blocks. I was like, oh, okay. So I had no way to get to campus.
Well, what sucks too is some of these bus lines that do actually go out a little bit further, they stop at like 7 or 8 p.m. So like for people who have to work late, that's absolutely of no use to them at all. And it's really just like, come on. Well,
to be fair, you have to figure how many people are actually going to go that far out. And I don't know. Like, that's just a matter of cost. But if they had, I'm just trying to imagine, St. Ed's is a really good school. Like, it's a significantly, that's the kind of thing that you can put on a resume, actually. It's a really good school. And, like, if you hadn't had that bus line, like, you'd be so different. Like,
yeah, it was so difficult. I mean, even for me, like, it was hard enough growing with just a single parent, but you know what I mean? It was like, there wasn't that many people in the city that went to that high school. So it's literally like, who can I carpool with? Is there a possibility? But luckily, after it ended, I got my driver's license in a car 2 months after the line ended. But still, it was very devastating to us and how I was supposed to get to high school. Yeah. So it serves many purposes for different demographics. And I hope they would expand upon this, but they first need to fix the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Fix the infrastructure.
The rapid.
Fix the rapid. Mm-hmm. And also, I love these health lines that they're doing.
The Cleveland State line and the health line are awesome.
They're awesome. Mm-hmm. If we can figure out a way of doing a little bit more south, not just downtown, going from east to west, that would be cool. So, like, build upon what you have and then expand. So when I had to fly out for a trip, I took the rapid to the airport from here, and it would have been a 35 to 45 minute drive from where we live. And it was just about the same taking the rapid. Crazy enough.
You would have had to park your car there or something like that.
Park your car, exactly. And the other thing too is, so I took the red line. I had to transfer from the blue line to the red line to get to the airport. And there was 4 or 5 stops that they were doing construction on, and they had the replacement bus. Completely free of charge since you already paid for the fare, and they take you there. And I don't think there's an excuse to not fix the infrastructure, because they have plenty of replacement buses for the rapid.
Right.
Another thing to talk about. So, like, there were funny stories from the celebrations. Do you want to lead in with that?
That video that just came out today?
Yeah, so the Cleveland Scene caught a video clip.
Or somebody did.
I'm pretty sure it was the Cleveland Scene.
Okay.
Or submitted to the Cleveland Scene. And so there was this guy who saw horse poop on the ground, because there's, like, you know, like, people, like, police on horses and stuff like that. And he just picks it up and eats it. And then he throws it up in the air and he finishes it off.
And everybody's cheering, everybody's yelling.
And he just walks away. Not a cringe, not a flicker on his face.
Awkward walking stocky white guy just picks up horse. I can't even swear.
Complete horse dung.
Yeah, and just throws it in his mouth. Like, that is, like, what?
Cleveland,
I mean, I guess I'll take that.
Crazy.
I'll take that over burning couches and buildings, I guess. But
people are climbing buildings.
Yeah, people were climbing buildings.
Somebody got shot in the back of the leg.
But considering 1.5 million people, only one incident, that's impressive.
Somebody ate poop. I don't know. Somebody literally picked up horse poop and consumed it. He was, like, excited, too. He was, like, frat boying it. He was so amped. Like,
what?
One of my friends, she works downtown. Or she works in Ohio City, I believe. And she was in the midst of all the grand celebrations.
Yeah.
And as she was walking through an alley, I guess she caught a couple having sex in an emergency stair, like, fire escape.
Oh boy.
And it was a Snapchat, so it was like 4 seconds. So it was literally like the guy pulling up his pants, and there was, like, people, like, yelling, like, take that ish somewhere else. And one guy doing pull-ups on the traffic light thing. That wasn't smart.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, let's talk about the pictures of
people on top of the fire.
They were scaling buildings.
Yeah, they were Spider-Maning up buildings. It was terrifying.
Oh God.
How did no one get injured from that? They were 2 stories up, 3 stories up.
Well, if it was a parking garage, they might have just been able to back into the parking garage.
No, it wasn't a parking garage.
No, people like...
It was the side of a building, an actual building.
Yeah, so what happened, you can look up pictures, but basically they were like, it was a textured building, but the indents were wide enough for a person to, like, shimmy up using, like, by pushing against the 2 outside parts with their hands and feet, and then they just climb up the sides of buildings that way. It was really horrifying. Lots of pictures. People were, like, climbing up on top of the, like, crosswalk signs and sitting up there and watching. Yeah. Like,
I mean, like I said, at least they weren't, like, damaging them. I guess that, like.
Well, I'm sure stuff got damaged.
Stuff still got damaged, but, like, I think for being an event where 1.5 million people attended, I still say it's amazing how little went wrong, honestly.
Did you see the guy who's from like Utah or something, and he's a Cavs fan, so he threw his own parade, and all it was his truck and his family, and they were just like going down the street. It was kind of cute and also sort of spooky because that's a lot. I don't know. Sports are confusing. I don't understand why people care that much. But
they thought there was a shooting at Tower City, but it was a false alarm. They did have people on lockdown for 40 minutes though.
That would have been fun.
Terrifying.
Two interesting things. So, didn't Mayor Frank Jackson get up during the celebration?
Yeah, he talked.
He got booed so loud. No, he got booed so loud. He got booed so loud. And then there was a whole movement of people saying, "Congratulations, police. You didn't shoot us when you asked us to move out of the road."
What was your tweet? You said the...
Oh, so the Cleveland Police Department said, "Way to go, Cavs," like 5 exclamation points. And I replied and retweeted and said, at CPD, this is the first time you've ever rooted for a group of black people in downtown Cleveland.
Pretty much.
No response. And then they had a tweet following another tweet talking about how there was a rumor how the fire truck got stolen.
Yeah.
And once again, I responded, wow, if this was a group of black people, you would have just shot them off the thing. But they didn't like it. So
Weird.
Clearly they read it, though.
I feel, including police, I guess, but I feel really bad for the emergency services the parade day because while I was sitting in my bus, not moving and not going to campus at the same time, like every couple of minutes there was an ambulance that needed to get downtown with their sirens on, and you could just they were just like sneaking forward because the traffic was so bad.
I did see there was like 10 or 12 little kids that got lost and couldn't find their families that were separated.
I heard 3 or 4,
but they all got reunited, which is very impressive, actually. That within that crowd, they said they had a whole separate area like off with snacks and stuff, and they were doing their best to spread the word and contact the parents.
Was it really 10 or 12?
Don't quote me on it.
Okay.
But I thought I read that.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. When I heard it, it was 3 or 4, but that's okay because it's still like losing a kid in that big of a crowd.
That's scary.
Yeah, and I'm honestly glad nobody got trampled to death. Honestly, because that's I'm
telling you, it's amazing.
Because the crowd wasn't angry for the most part, like just overall. But you know, accidents happen.
Late, people were finding ways to use themselves.
Yeah, people get trampled in Walmart. I mean, like on Black Friday. So
I think this speaks upon our desire to win a sports championship.
You're so desperate.
You know what I mean? Like they were so excited and happy about this that nothing could tear them down. And when I was working that day at the store, customers would come up and say, "Your day must be a lot better because we won." And I'm like, "No, it doesn't change my day."
Affect you.
But you know, they looked at me all weird, like, "You're not a Northeast Ohio person. Clearly, where are you from?" And I'm like, "I just don't like sports like you guys do, man."
We had a note at our workplace. If you do not show up to work unannounced Wednesday, you are terminated. No exceptions. I was like, oh. And I asked our head of human resources, did anyone skip work? He's like, nope. So I guess it worked.
Good.
I mean, this is mind-boggling. Cuyahoga County has, 2 million people? And 1.5 million people were in downtown Cleveland.
I was not one of them. And it wasn't all Cuyahoga County.
Yeah, but I mean, just think about the population, though. That's almost the whole county in the city.
Now I'm curious. I want to know the populace. Let's see.
Everyone rapidly searches their phones.
2013, it was 1.263 million. So we had more than the population of our entire county. That's crazy.
Is it really only 1.2?
Yeah, looks like it. Cleveland, we have 390,000 alone.
Oh, then I was wrong, but still, that's crazy. There's more people in the city than there was the county.
That's absolutely crazy. And that was with people, I know tons of people who still went to work, and stuff, so it's not like it was all Clevelanders. Like, there were people who drove here from all over the country to try to come to this event.
Just to see the storyline of hometown boy delivers a championship to a city that hasn't gotten something in years.
I'm not crazy about sports, but I did watch, I watched on and off the game that night, and it was very entertaining. I was really sucked, especially that last 10 minutes was really very movie worthy. It was so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did make a movie of the whole Cavs journey someday.
Well, it has to be about LeBron, right?
It's gonna be a LeBron movie.
It's gotta be. He's iconic now.
Yeah, we're just gonna make movies out of all the.
Iconic.
We're gonna make movies out of all the Cleveland sports teams.
Think about this. What was cool about the trophy ceremony on the stage was whoever the host was talking about Cleveland having, or Northeast Ohio having 3 transcendent sports stars. One being Jesse Owens, which is crazy. I keep forgetting that he is from here.
Crazy.
He went to East Tech, I believe. And then Jim Brown, the best running back of all time, who was also a huge political activist, and he still is.
Yeah.
And then LeBron James. And it's so funny. It's like, we're little Northeast Ohio with not a good sports track record. we have transcendent
We just have figures. Weirdly... I don't know. I've heard from a bunch of people, and I guess this is fans. Cleveland sports fans are insane. Like, they are crazy.
Insane.
And that's why you had this.
And I feel like that kind of, maybe it's just about the mindset. Because, you know, like, when you go different places, there are different mindsets. It just depends a lot on where you are. Maybe it's just this, like, go hard mindset, like, that we keep getting these people who do, and they just make it.
I mean, think about Bottlegate. Does anyone remember the Browns game where people were throwing bottles in the field?
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's the reason why when you go to NFL stadiums, all the beer bottles are plastic.
Yeah.
Cleveland fans were chucking beer bottles into the field of play. Glass was everywhere on the field.
Cleveland won.
Well, I think, I mean, at this point, we could probably win more championships and stuff like that, but it won't be like this one. This one was...
I mean, it was hometown. It was LeBron James. Like, Northeast Ohio came from the projects in Akron.
Right.
And is now the best basketball player in the world. Like, that's...
The bow has been tied on the storyline.
Exactly.
Like, you know, it like I said, it could happen again, but it won't ever be quite
If he retired after this, it would be, like, the best way to go.
Yeah,
honestly.
Probably. If he was, I don't know. Yeah.
He has
Trey Day was crazy.
And was like, I think he's more choices.
I honestly, if you had asked me like 2 weeks ago if the Cavs had ever won a championship, it probably, I don't know, we have LeBron James, we probably won something sometime. Like, I didn't even know. Like, it was just crazy coming home on Father's Day.
Information that you would care about?
Huh?
Information that you would care about is, you know how there's supposed to be a Space Jam 2?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be in it.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be. I don't.
See, there we go.
Well, I just like Space Jam. I'm so excited. We need to watch it.
I know. I want to go like when it.
Well, we should pregame and watch the first one.
Of course.
And then go to theater.
Yes.
And watch the new one.
Exactly.
Joe can do whatever Joe does, because Joe doesn't like Space Jam.
I didn't bring it up for that reason. I didn't bring it up for that reason.
I just don't love it. Is that a sin? I guess so. Concluding thoughts.
I tried to get to campus. I did my best, but my prof didn't cancel class. I don't know what he wanted me to do.
I guess I'm still a social justice warrior that is bitter about things to the end, but hey, at least I'm consistent. But go LeBron, you know what I mean? That quote that everyone uses, you know, from him, like, Northeast Ohio, Cleveland is a tough place to live.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's about your, like, I don't know. I can't recite it. Yeah. But I get it from his point of view, because it is applicable to his point of view, but it's not applicable to a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But
he made it. He's the exception.
He is the exception. Like, it's crazy. He is the chosen one. So, congratulations. I doubt you're gonna listen to this, but you know, thank you, I guess.
Yeah. Go LeBron. Go Cavs. Go Cleveland. And go America.
Go poop eating guy.
Yeah, go away from us.
Where was that guy's parents? Did he have a father in his life?
Oh. Now, this was just a little bonus episode we threw together, but if you want to hear more of our thoughts just about not sports things, you can...
And probably less about Cleveland, too.
Yeah. You can go to Can You Not on iTunes and run to the podcast section, or you can go to soundcloud.com/C.Y.N podcast. And if you want to suggest other topics for us to ramble on about, you can go to canyounotpodcast@gmail.com. So, yeah.
Shout out Cleveland.
Cleveland. Can you? Yes.
Can the poop eating guy not?
I'm halfway in. I'm not all in.